Greetings. Good afternoon, Juneteenth family. Welcome to another weekly Lunch and Learn.
In terms of business, if you have a dream, go for it. Pursue it. Work hard at it, because with anything that you want to do, it's going to come hard work. You know, if you don't put the hard work, if you don't put the time into it, it's not going to flourish the way you want to.
Maybe advice for anybody who's looking to start a business, like just do it. Start off small and then kind of expand. I know sometimes it can be overwhelming, but like once you're in it, you'll be like, oh my gosh, why didn't I do this long time ago?
Love you. Tell yourself, I love me too. I love you, Omena. Love you.
When you open your heart and your mind, you're opening up to your blessing.
Yeah.
Greetings, and good afternoon, Juneteenth family. Welcome to another edition of our weekly Lunch and Learn. Today we have Quinn Conyers. Today we'll be talking about turning conversation into cash. It'll be the ultimate virtual learning experience that will encourage entrepreneurs to eliminate their boring and basic business pitches. By the time you leave us today, you'll have a verbal business card. You'll understand what a verbal business card is and why you need one, how to attract and not repel clients as soon as you open your mouth virtually or in person, and the number one reason you must replace all your discount dialect with luxury language. Number 3 is the main one that I'm here for, but I'm honestly here for it all. Can you bring Quinn up to the stage, please? Hey, Quinn, how you doing today?
I am awesome and amazing. How are you?
I am very, very well. I'm super excited to have you here. So much so that I'm just going to step away and pass the stage on to you. Let the world know who you are, Quinn.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Well, listen, if you decided to spend some of your lunch with me, I am super appreciative of that. Like Jamie said, my name is Quinn Conyers, and today I really want to show you how you can turn conversations into cash. If that is something that you're looking forward to, I just want you to go ahead and put cash in the comments, because at the end of the day, if you want people to swipe that credit card, if you want people to pay that invoice, or if you want people to smack that buy button, it all starts with your ability to be able to have conversations that lead to cash. And that's exactly what I'm going to show you how to do during the time that we have together. So let me go ahead and bring up my screen. That way you can see my slides. Here we go. So here's what you need to understand. You as an entrepreneur, you as a business owner, even you as a speaker have probably been lied to in business. You have been told that all you need to be successful in telling people what it is that you do is an elevator pitch. I am here to tell you that that is wrong. That is a lie. And if you want to be super successful for the rest of 2022, if you want to earn ridiculous revenue in 2023 as an entrepreneur, as a business owner, as a speaker, that you need to retire your elevator pitch and replace it with what I call a verbal business card. And I'll get into that in just a little bit. So just in case you were trying to figure out what is going on, what is the topic of the Lunch and Learn session today, it is all about turning conversations into cash. And my name is Quinn Conyers, and I have the honor, privilege, and pleasure to lead you on this fantastic conversation that we are about to have. Now, let's talk about why you said yes. Why you said yes to giving some of your time and your attention to this lunch hour. Why you said yes to literally carving out some time and taking some notes and joining us here. You said yes, let's be honest, because the title, Turn Conversations into Cash, turned you on. Or you want to have conversations that lead to cash, clients, and contracts. Or maybe you have a great business, but you struggle explaining your business to other people. Or maybe when you open up your mouth, you want to attract clients and not turn clients off. Or maybe when you tell people what it is that you do, it doesn't really capture what you do accurately, or you know for a fact you are raising your hand and you're saying, you know what? I know my elevator pitch is boring or basic, but I just don't know how to enhance it. Or maybe when someone says, well, what do you do? Or what do you speak about? Or tell me about your business. Your answer is always changing. And if that is you, you did a good thing by saying yes to the time that we have here today. So I know that Jamie mentioned a little bit about who I am and what I do, but again, I think it's really important that if you are deciding to spend some time with me during this wonderful lunch hour, that I give you a little bit of time about who I am and how I serve. So again, my name is Quinn Conyers. I've been speaking and serving for the last 17 years. I have been very grateful that God has gifted me the gift of gab. So I speak. I speak as a compelling keynote speaker as well as an energetic MC. So I'm not speaking and serving. I'm actually partnering with event planners and making sure that their event is actually an epic experience. In addition to that, I have written not one, but 2 books. My first book is called Speak Up: How You Can Dominate in the Speaking Industry. My second book is called Speak Black Woman: How Women in Business Can Profit from Public Speaking. Now, that second book can be found on Amazon, Target, and Barnes and Nobles. I've been on the cover of 2 magazines. I've hosted alongside people like Damon John, as well as Spinderella. And more importantly, I'm here. My goal, my mission, part of my assignment on this earth while I still have breath in my body is to make sure that I amplify, I illuminate, and I highlight the voices of other people so they can attract customers and clients to purchase or buy into their business, their book, or their brand. I do that by really teaching you not only how to turn conversations into cash, but to understand that we must delete discount dialect and replace it with luxury language so we can turn clients on instead of turning clients off. Okay. So here's what you also need to realize about me, that me speaking, me serving for the last 17 years is not the only thing that I'm doing, right? So I've also been an entrepreneur. So I am just curious, if you are an entrepreneur or you're a business owner, just type business in the comments, because I've been speaking and doing this for a while, but I've also ran a bag business for several years with my husband called Purse Paparazzi. And I don't know about you, but like any other entrepreneur, I needed money. I needed cash. I needed that to either start or expand my business. And at the time when I was running Purse Paparazzi, I really didn't feel comfortable or confident going into a bank and asking for a loan or a line of credit. So I found out about these things called business pitch competitions. Now, if you are not familiar with business pitch competitions, it's when you give your best 30 seconds, 90 seconds elevator pitch, and whichever entrepreneur has the best elevator pitch, they go home with that cash prize. Now, business pitch competitions have gotten super popular during the years, but a couple of years ago, when I was start doing this 5, 6, 7 years ago, business pitch competitions literally were not as popular. But I knew for a fact that I sold purses and handbags, but I knew that if I wanted to win this money in competitions, I had to perfect my pitch. I had to talk about these purses in a way that was different, special, and unique. So here's what I decided to do. I began to enter these business pitch competitions. Now, I'm not going to lie to you. I lost more than what I won. But overall, I've actually won, and I've coached my clients to win over $400,000 in business pitch competitions. So yes, if you're doing the math is mathing, right? So people teaching them how to perfect their pitch. So when they would speak, they could talk about their business and get cash prize. But there was one particular business pitch competition that really changed the way that I saw pitching and talking about my purses and my business. And it was when I was selected from hundreds of entrepreneurs from all across the United States to actually pitch in a Black Enterprise Magazine pitch competition. And literally, I decided to enter the competition. I was selected as one of the 10 entrepreneurs. So I live in Baltimore, Maryland. So I jumped on a plane from BWI and I went to Chicago, where the competition was being held. And in that competition, there were 10 of us entrepreneurs, right? 10 of us, Teresa. Thank you so much for joining us. And each of us had 60 seconds to pitch our businesses. Of us 10, 5 of us were eliminated, which left 5 of us still standing, and we had an additional 30 seconds to pitch our business. Now, here's the good news. I actually pitched my business for 60 seconds. 5 people were deleted. I still was standing, and in total, I had 90 seconds to pitch my purse business. And let me tell you what the cash prize was. $10,000. So for 90 seconds, I had to talk about my business in a way that was really exciting with an opportunity to win $10,000 in a minute and a half. I don't know about you, but that made me pretty excited. So I prayed on this. I was excited about this. I went down there. I gave my best pitch, and the winner was not Quinn Conyers. I was devastated. I was big girl mad. I wanted to cuss on a Sunday mad. I'm like, wait a minute. I thought my money was mine. I thought that money belonged to me, and I lost that competition. And as I was heading off stage, defeated, frustrated, angry, mad, confused, there was a woman who was kind of looking at me and taking notes. And she was looking at me and she was taking notes. And finally we were face to face, and she says, "Hi, I'm a writer for Black Enterprise Magazine, and I love the way that you pitch those purses. I would love to feature you and how you pitch in an upcoming edition of the magazine." And I was just like, "Ma'am, I don't know if you were at the same competition I was at, but I lost. You might want to go ahead and talk to the winner." And she said to me, "I'm very aware of who won this competition, but I liked the way you pitched." And something in me shifted. And I know that we're still at the tail end of a pandemic, but I began to pivot before the pandemic. I began to understand that I would meet so many awesome and amazing entrepreneurs who had great businesses, beautiful services, products to die for. But when it came to talking about their business, being the spokesperson for their business, doing their elevator pitch, they sucked. They weren't even hitting the tip of the iceberg of the greatness that they provided to the world. So I began to really work with entrepreneurs and teach them how to have conversations that lead to cash. Because the number one question that you're going to be asked in business is not how much money you make. It's not how many clients you have. The number one question is, what do you do? And your ability to answer that question correctly can either help or hurt you in business. And I'm going to circle around to the word help in just a second, but I need you to understand that many of us will spend money on fancy business cards. We'll get a great website, a photo shoot, a business coach, and then somebody will say, "Well, tell me what you do." And we can't answer the question. And that is where I begin to say, listen, if you want to have conversation that leads to cash and not conversations that lead to frustration or confusion, you need to learn how to have conversations that lead to cash, right? And that's where I come in. So I am just curious. I don't know you. Some of them I do. But if I had to ask you, how would you describe what it is that you do? Just type that in the comments, right? How would you describe what it is that you do? Just curious. How would you describe that? You can go ahead and type that in the chat box. And as you were doing that, I want you to also chat or think about that. Based on this photo, right? What do you think this woman does? I'm just curious, right? Based on this photo, if you had to guess, what do you think this woman does? Just curious. Okay. I know that some of you might be thinking about that right now. She's a cuddle buddy. Okay. Thank you so much for joining. So you are definitely on the right track, right? Here's what you need to understand. We've all heard the saying, "Don't judge a book by its cover," but we do all the time. And guess what? People are also judging you by the way you talk about your business. Word of mouth is not dead. Word of mouth is still alive and well. But here's the difference, especially having a business in 2022. It's not just about what people say about your business. It's what you say about your own business that matters. So think about it and be real and honest with yourself. If you met someone who said, "I'm a professional cuddler," you probably look at them a little side eye, a little sideways. You probably will make judgment. You probably would think, "What you mean you a professional cuddler?" So before you judge this profession, it's a real thing. People get anywhere from $80 to $100 an hour to be a professional cuddler, right? So Felicia, stay with me, right? So at the end of the day, what happens is people are judging her. But if she were my client and she knew how to turn conversations into cash, she'd say, "I provide hands-on touch therapy for individuals who desire to heal, who have lost a loved one, or is battling depression." Do you see the difference between I'm a professional cuddler, but if somebody asked her, what do you do? And she answered it with, I provide hands-on touch therapy. That's a conversation that will probably lead to cash because it piques the interest of the potential customer or client that you are talking to. And that's what I want you to understand. If you want to have conversations that lead to cash, having a boring or basic elevator pitch is not going to cut it. You can't tell people what it is that you do based on your title. And we're going to talk about that a little bit more. All right. So let's talk about the 4 massive mistakes. Now, I know there might be a few men on here, but when I was doing a little bit of research on the crowd for this, I didn't know it's mostly women. So if you are a man, stay with me as well. I will make this relevant for you as well. And if you're joining us, I want to say hi to Pretty E. Jackson. Hello. Thank you for joining me. Kaleem, thank you for being here. Felicia, I appreciate you for joining us and giving me some of your time. Teresa Scott as well. Thank you. So let's talk about this. What are the 4 massive mistakes that entrepreneurs in business make when telling people what it is that they do? If you are a note taker, this is a lunch and learn, y'all. This is a nice time to pull out your pen and paper so you can lunch with me, but you can more importantly learn with me. So the 4 massive mistake that I see that entrepreneurs make when telling people what they do is they are called what I consider a similar Samantha or a similar Sam for all the fellas out there, right? So this is a type of person, if you ask them what it is they do, they sound like a twin, a triplet, or quadruplet. They sound like every other business that you have heard before. There is nothing special, different, or unique about them. You can't tell if their business is different from somebody else that you met a week or 2 ago. So they sound like, they look like, and they're promoting their business very similar to everybody else in the industry. Right? So you can't tell what makes them different. And if you want to have a conversation that leads to cash, you cannot be a similar Samantha. Let me give you an example. I don't know about you, but if we look at all of these, you have to understand that what you do as an entrepreneur, what you do as a speaker is similar to other people, but it's not the same. Now, Oprah, obviously, Maury Povich and Jerry Springer, they're similar in the fact that they all are talk shows. But Oprah's specialty is all about inspiration and motivation and getting you to live your best life. Now, we all know that if we want to live our best life, we are not going to Maury Povich. Let's be real. What are we going to Maury Povich for? To figure out who is not the father, okay? I know I'm not the only one. We want to see who is not the father. Again, the Oprah show and Maury Povich are both talk shows, right? However, just because they are similar, they are not the same. So the way the producers market and promote the Oprah Winfrey show is very different than how the producers promote and market the Maury Povich show, right? Also, bringing in an example, we got Jerry Springer. He is, of course, is off, but back in the 90s, early 2000s, let's be real, this was the origination of Trash TV. You were not going to Jerry Springer to get some good tips on how to live your best life. You were not going to Jerry Springer to figure out the paternity test Tuesdays. You were going to Jerry Springer for a good knockdown, brawl, and fight, right? Let's be real, right? You wanted to see who was about to lay those hands, right? That's what you wanted to see. So why do I bring this up, Felicia? Why is this important, Jamie? Why should you pay attention to this, Jamie? The reason why is because all of these, in its simplest forms, are talk shows, but all of these are not the same. So the reason why this matters is if you were showing up as the spokesperson for your business, your book, or your brand, you don't want to be a similar Samantha. You want to figure out a unique and compelling way to talk about what it is that you do that separates you from other entrepreneurs and business owners doing something similar, because it is not the same. All right. Hopefully you're still with me. The third massive mistake that I see a lot of entrepreneurs making when telling people what they do is they are who I call a title Tina. Okay. So who is a title Tina? A title Tina is a person, if you say, well, what do you do? And they say, I'm a lawyer, I'm a doctor, I'm an entrepreneur, I'm a business coach, I'm a financial consultant, I'm a speaker, right? You just gave me your title. What people really want is your transformation. How can you rock my world? How can you blow my mind? So this is a massive mistake that I see a lot of us doing. We are so focused on telling people what our title is, and what people really want, if you want to have conversations that lead to cash, is the transformation. If you're in the finance field, tell me about how, if you work with me, I'm going to be able to save some of that money that I work with to buy my dream home, right? What is the transformation? You don't want to just give somebody your title. And 9 times out of 10, if you're giving somebody your title, entrepreneur, author, business coach, you're going to continue to be frustrated and have conversations that lead to confusion versus conversations that lead to cash. So you don't want to be a title, Tina. All right. So let's talk about an example. This was a client of mine. His name is Darren. He used to say that he's a motivational speaker, but after working with me, verbalizing his value and really making sure that he was having conversations that lead to cash, he now says, I speak life into college students. I show them how to enjoy their college experience without the usage of drugs and alcohol. Do you see the difference between having an elevator pitch or being a title Tina, motivational speaker, who isn't a motivational speaker, to a verbal business card, which is I speak life into college students? So that is a solution. If you want to have conversations that lead to cash, you must have a verbal business card, and you must delete your boring and basic elevator pitch. So the second massive mistake that I see entrepreneurs make when it comes to telling people what they do is who I call a switch up Stacy. Now, either you know a switch up Stacy or you've been a switch up Stacy. This is a no judgment zone. I just want you to understand what it is. So after our time today, you can change up the way that you speak about your business, right? So a switch up Stacy is a person that if you ask them what they do on a Monday, they're going to tell you that they do hair. On Tuesday, they actually are a financial consultant. On Wednesday, they drive Lyft. On Friday, they fry fish. And on Saturdays, they actually are a dog walker. Switch up Stacy switches up what she does depending on the day and the time, right? And you don't want to be the person that is a switch up Stacy, because at the end of the day, if you are confused about what it is that you do, 9 times out of 10, your client will be confused about what you do. And if you're constantly switching it up, especially in an era that we live on social media, people are not going to know if they should order a fish dinner from you or get their hair done. And you don't want that confusion in your life as an entrepreneur. When people are checking you out or having conversations with you, you definitely want them to know who you are and why they should be coming to you and what type of services that you can provide them. Okay, so you definitely want to make sure that you are not a switch up Stacy. Now, the number one massive mistake that I see that entrepreneurs are making in regards to what they do or telling people what they do is who I call an on and on Olivia. Now, this is a person that if you ask them what it is that they do, it might go a little something like this. Hey, tell me what it is that you do. Well, you know, my first business I started back in the 80s because my kids were really, really young, and I sold Mary Kay, and that was good for a while. But then the market got oversaturated and there was too many Mary Kay representatives. So I stopped doing that. And then I figured out that I wanted to sell life insurance. So I was selling life insurance for a couple of years, and that went over pretty well. You know, a couple people kind of got some policies, but after that, I was like, I didn't want to be around death like that. So I decided that I didn't want to do that anymore. So after a while, I figured I had a lot of business knowledge and expertise. So I decided to be a business consultant, working with entrepreneurs, teaching them how they can run their business, scale their business. But that kind of got exhausting because entrepreneurs didn't want to pay. You get the drift, right? You are asking this person for a summary, and they are giving you literally the dissertation, right? You just want the summary and they're giving you the sermon. You don't want all of that, right? You really are just kind of frustrated because this person is going on and on and on, right? And that's not what you want, right? That's not what you want to do. So you don't want to be an on and on Olivia. If people are talking to you and you don't even realize that they fell asleep twice and their eyes rolled in the back of their head, you're probably throwing them off, sis. They're not with you. You don't want to be and on Olivia. Okay. So I love the fact that Miss Rodney is here. We got I think that's Mr. Rashid as well, but I'm glad that you are with me as well. So you don't want to be that. So I am just curious. My apologies. I think when this came over a little bit that it was the fonts are a little bit funky, but Keisha, I'm gonna rock with it because that's what I do. I'm gonna rock with it. So I'm curious, based on what I just gave you, who do you think you are? Are you a similar Samantha? Are you a title Tina? Are you a switch up Stacy? Or are you an on Olivia? I'm just curious. Based on the examples I just gave you, this is a no judgment zone. We all family out here. I just want to know, who do you think you are, right? Now, for whatever saying, you're like, oh my gosh, Quinn, I could be like a similar Samantha on some days, but then other days, I'm going to switch up Stacy. I'm going to call you a combo Carla or a combo Carl. That means you are a combination of these people. So I want you to go ahead and write that. So Keisha says she's a title Tina. All right. Anybody else want to go ahead and write that in the comments? Who do you think that you are? So what is that? Watoto Entertainment says, I'm a Stacy. I want to know, who else do you think that you are based on the examples that I just gave. Title Tina, and my nickname is Tina. That's too funny. All right, so let's talk about, why are you not turning conversations into cash? More importantly, what's the number one reason you're not turning conversations into cash? Well, the number one reason you're not turning conversations into cash is because you haven't verbalized your value. You haven't articulated your awesomeness. You don't know how to talk about what you do that is so enhanced, because maybe, for example, you feel like, I don't want to toot my own horn. Well, I'm here to toot your own horn, ma'am and bruh, because at the end of the day, what you do is amazing. So we don't want to downgrade your greatness. So the reason why you're not turning conversations into cash, the reason why you're probably a title Tina or a combo Carla or an on Olivia, is because you have not verbalized your value. Now, how do you do that? You do that with this example, right? Number one, this was an example of a client that I work with. She's actually my pastor, and she was saying that as her verbal business card, has her elevator pitch, I help people who feel empty inside find fulfillment with God so they can live life like they're on vacation. After working with me, she says, individuals who want more out of life take my course when they're ready to shift from a procrastination to purpose-filled life. After just 8 weeks, you will discover and dive into your purpose so you create an obituary worth reading. Do you see how we just verbalized her value? Do you see how I articulated her awesomeness? So that is a solution. If you want to have conversations that lead to cash, you got to have a verbal business card. You got to retire that elevator pitch. But more importantly, you got to be comfortable with using luxury language and not discount dialect. And I'll explain what that means in just a second. So how do I verbalize my value? So you verbalize your value with a verbal business card, which is a clear, concise, and compelling way to articulate or explain what you do that takes clients from interested to invested in working with you after just one conversation. Hey, Cheryl, so happy that you are here. Cheryl is in my mastermind group. So that's what you want to realize. Are you taking clients from interested to invested in working with you after just one conversation? That is the value of a verbal business card. So let's talk about 2 reasons why every entrepreneur needs a verbal business card. Number 1, you need a verbal business card to be disruptive in your industry. Number 2, you need a verbal business card so you can be literally doing things a little bit different. Now, for all of you who are taking notes, write this down. Disruption leads to dollars. Write that down. Disruption leads to dollars. The more you can disrupt your industry about how you describe what it is that you do, the more dollars will come to you. Okay. But if you show up sounding like, smelling like, marketing, promoting, pitching your products and services like everybody else, you're going to continue to be frustrated. Here's another example. Before working with me, Jalima used to say that she's a virtual assistant. After working with me, she now says, I create systems and structure for entrepreneurs with a big vision by focusing on the details of their business so they can operate in their calling worry-free. Do you see the difference? If you see the difference in the examples that I am giving you, I want you to go ahead and just type in, I see it. Okay. I just want to make sure that you see, if you see the difference between having an elevator pitch and then having a verbal business card, which is a conversational type of elevator pitch that can lead to cash, I want you to be able to say, I see it. So thank you so much for saying that you see it. We got a couple people saying, I see it. This is so powerful. This change is so impactful. I'm glad that you see it. So let's talk about the 4 reasons why a verbal business card is so powerful. The 4th reason a verbal business card is so powerful, it is super intentional. You are telling people what it is that you do as a part of your marketing message. Many of us are telling people what we do, and we're doing it in robotics. We're doing it haphazard. We're doing it on autopilot. When you create a verbal business card, you're intentional. You want this client or customer to actually engage with you. So you're not just spitting off of a title. You really want them to engage. Number 3, the verbal business cards are really rich with what I call psychographics. There are many coaches out there who would tell you, figure out your target client. Are they between the ages of 25 and 55? Are they Black? Are they white? Are they millennial? Are they Gen Z? I don't care about any of that. My whole thing is, what is their mindset? So my example is, I love to work with entrepreneurs who know they have an awesome and amazing business, but have a tough time explaining it. Did you just see how in that psychographic description, I didn't talk about their age, their gender. So you could be 75 years old and have a great business, not know how to talk about it. You are my client. You could be 21 and have a great business and not necessarily know how to explain it. You are my client. So the reason why the verbal business card is so powerful is because I focus more on psychographics than demographics when I create these for my clients. Okay. Also, the reason why the verbal business card is so powerful is because it's results driven. What does that mean? It means that in the verbal business card, it tells you what it is that I can do in exchange for the investment. So a lot of mistakes that people do as entrepreneurs is, once you swipe the credit card, then they want to tell you all about how I can do. No, when you are having conversations that lead to cash, you want to let people know upfront the transformation and what you can do if they decide to invest in you. So I'll give you an example. If you work with me, you'll come with an elevator pitch, but you'll leave the result a verbal business card. And that is a part that why the verbal business card is so powerful, because you are telling people upfront the results of working with you before they swipe that credit card. Okay. And then the number 1 reason the verbal business card is so powerful is because it is rich and juicy with what I call luxury language. Now, luxury language is wealthy words. It's words that elevate, empower, amplify, illuminate what it is that you do. On the contrary, many entrepreneurs are using what I call discount dialect, which is words and phrases that diminish and downgrade what it is that you do. So you definitely want to make sure that you're using luxury language when describing your products, your services, your coaching program, your course, and you want to make sure that you are deleting discount dialect from your business vernacular. So let me explain what it is how that works. So I talked a little bit about using luxury language, right? So when I talk about luxury language and why you should use it in your verbal business card, when communicating on your website, anywhere someone can read about you, is because when you know how to articulate your awesomeness, there is a different energy and attraction that you can attract your ideal client. Many of us are using weak words, poverty-stricken words that really downgrade the essence of who we are and what we do. Now, there are many words that come to mind when I think about discount dialect, right? But there's one word in particular that I believe should be removed from the dictionary altogether, or at least the business dictionary if I had my way, right? So one of the most words that we are using over and over again that is preventing us, that is blocking us from turning conversations into cash, because it is the highest on my list as discount dialect, is the word help. Now, stay with me for a second. If you want to start a business, I can help you. You need your taxes done, I can help you. You need a business coach, I can help you. You need your website done, I can help you. You need pictures for your website, I can help you, I can help you, I can help you. And what happens is people get on a call with you, or they want to talk to you. They want to pick your brain because you have been marketing and promoting yourself using discount dialect. More importantly, you've been marketing and promoting and positioning yourself as the help. You are not the help. You are the hero to somebody else's business, especially as Black people. We've been the help for way too damn long. We've been the help so much, they made a movie out of us. I'm here to tell you that you are not the help. You are the answer to somebody's problem. You're the answer to somebody's prayers. So if you want to have conversations that lead to cash, you have to delete words like help from your business vernacular and begin to use luxury language. You can help or you can assist. You can help or you can coach. You can help or you can develop, right? When you think about what it is that you do as an entrepreneur, many of you have professional development. You got certificates. You went through courses. You took workshops. Some of you have an associate's, a master's, a bachelor's, and you're thinking about getting a PhD. And what it is that you do, you can engage, you can offer, you can elevate, you can disrupt, you can amplify, you can advance, you can create, you can facilitate, you can implement, but we do not help anyone in business. That is discount dialect. Your price of what you know, your intellectual property, your brain, your years of doing it wrong to get it right, it costs somebody something. So when you are marketing what it is that you put your blood, your sweat, and your tears in, you want to make sure if you want to have conversations that lead to cash, that you are using luxury language and not discount dialect. Okay? Make sure that you understand that. I want you to go ahead and type it in the chat box. I am not the help. Okay? Put that in the chat box. I am not the help. So we talked a little bit about this, right? You want to make sure that you're not using discount dialect words, right? These are words and phrases that downgrade, disrespect your greatness, right? So here's what I want to do, right? So Keisha says she's not the help. Adina says she is not the help. You are certainly not. What you know is so amazing. I want to offer everyone a complimentary. Notice I didn't say free, right? I'm going to open up a complimentary gift because free sometimes can be discount dialect. Affordable can be discount dialect. I got a whole bunch of words that you shouldn't be using. So Keisha, I'm gonna need your assistance. Notice I said assistance and not help, right? Can you go ahead and type in the comments that luxury language list? So for all of you who are like, oh my gosh, Quinn just freaking snatched my edges and pulled my wig off of my head. I've been out here telling everybody I am the help. What words should I be using? I got you. I'm going to give you a complimentary luxury language list that you can download and you can start using right away. So you can know what kind of words literally that you should be using to market and promote your business. And you can know what types of discount dialect you can actually remove. So again, thank you so much. They dropped that in the box. If you want that list, all you got to do is click that link in the comments and you can get access to downloading my luxury language list. And again, it's going to be all the words that you shouldn't be using, discount dialect, weak words. And I'm also going to give you a whole list of what I call wealthy words, luxury language that you can begin to use right away to market your business, to promote your business. But more importantly, this is how you can have conversations that lead to cash. All right. So I'm just curious. Y'all still with me? Nobody logged off, right? I ain't step on nobody's toes, right? If you still with me, just put still with you in the comments. Just want to make sure you still with me. A lot of times people have been using the word help for 10 and 20 years and I come in and tell them not to use it. And I can maybe have somebody clutching their imaginary pearls, right? So I just want to make sure you know that I'm doing this in love and that I want you to begin to use words that really attract your clients and not turn your clients off. Okay, Miss Jones is still with me. Miss Rodney is still with me. Mr. Rashid is still with me. We still have, I want to say, Watoto Entertainment is still with me as well. So thank you so much for that. So you already downloaded that list. I already put that in there. So the other thing that you have to understand that if you want to have conversations that lead to cash, you really have to use luxury language. That was the L. But you also have to know, what do you really offer? A lot of us don't know what you offer. Like when I had the purse business, I knew I offered more than purses and luggage and crossbodies. I offered confidence. I offered an experience. I offered a fashion up upgrade. So when you are thinking about these conversations and talking to potential customers and clients, you got to get crystal clear. What do you really offer? Even with this Juneteenth lunch and learn experience, they're not just offering workshops, they're offering mindset makeovers to predominantly, African American and Black owned business owners. That's different than, oh, we're just doing a workshop. So you have to be crystal clear on what it is that you really offer. Right? So I'm offering a workshop or a lunch and learn about how you who are here with me can turn conversations into cash. But what am I really offering? What I'm really offering you is a thought perspective shift on the words that you use to market and promote your business. That's what I'm really offering. Do you understand? Does that make sense? If you want to have conversations that lead to cash, you absolutely must understand, what do you offer? It is one thing to know what you do, it is another thing to be able to articulate what you do. Right? And that's the part that people are missing. You got to know what you offer to the world, to the universe, to your customer, to your client. Okay? All right, let's keep going. So I want you to meet Dame. So Dame is a photographer that I work with. And before working with me, he was like, Quinn, I'm a photographer. That's what I do. I'm a photographer. You ask him on a Tuesday, I take pictures. Or ask him on a Thursday, I take photos. I'm a photographer. What else do you want me to say? Now, after working with me, he says, I capture the legacy of families so they have memorable photos that will last a lifetime. Do you see this? Like, you could be a photographer or you can be a legacy capturer. What is he offering? He's really offering not just pictures or images. He's offering memorable photos that last a lifetime. Do you see this? Think about it. You might have not have been thinking about getting family photos, but if you meet Dame after he says, I capture the legacy of your family so you can have memorable photos that last a lifetime, you're like, let me get these kids together. Let me get this let me get my husband, my boyfriend, or my man, or my dogs. I think it's time for family photos, right? Because the conversation hits your ear a little bit different. And that's what you want to have. You want to make sure that when you're showing up and you're talking about your business, that your offer is clear in your verbal business card, not just your elevator pitch. All right. So you also have to be able to verbalize your value. So I'm just curious, right? I'm an 80s baby. I grew up in the 80s, or I was born in the 80s, 90s. Who is this person, or what's the name of this show? Who do you think this is? Who do you think this is? If you are with me, hopefully I'm not the only 80s baby out here. Does anybody know what this show is? Does anybody know who this character is? Anybody? Okay. Mr. Rashid said Family Matters. We have another Facebook user that says Family Matters. Family Matters is a show. Thank you, Sabrina. I appreciate you jumping in. Yes, this is Family Matters. And the character that you see is Steve Urkel. We all know about Steve Urkel or Stefan Urkel. Thank you, Miss Rodney. I appreciate you. Darnese says Family Matters. Thank you so much. So let's talk about this for a second, right? If you want to have conversations that lead to cash, you got to be able to verbalize your value. So let's think about what Steve Urkel is. So Steve Urkel, of course, lived across the street from the Winslows. He was a neighbor, all that good stuff. And literally, he was super geeky. Laura wasn't paying him any attention. And for whatever reason, when he did something a little bit different, he became Stefan Urkel. Same person, same brain, same mindset, same body, same product, same service. But Stefan Urkel was described different. He was promoted different. Still the same person. So if you want to have conversations that lead to cash, I want you to get your Stefan Urkel on. Take that product, take that service, really spice it up, talk about it different so your clients and customers will flock to you, right? And there's nothing wrong with Steve Urkel. However, there was something attractive. There was something, charismatic about Stefan Urkel. And I want you to add that type of spice to your business. And that's how you verbalize your value, by using, again, luxury language. Okay. The next thing on what you must do in order to show your business some love and have conversations that lead to cash is you want to enhance and elevate anything that you do. And I've given you examples throughout this whole entire Lunch and Learn. The woman that we're looking at is Tyra Banks, with and without makeup. Now, same person, but a lot of times, many of you are going out in these networking streets, in these business streets, naked, no makeup on at all, right? So if you want to have conversations that lead to cash, you must enhance and elevate what you do by using luxury language and adding that to your verbal business card, adding this to your website, adding luxury language to your social media posts, using luxury language when you go live, using luxury language when you're asked to be on panel discussions or do workshops or be a keynote speaker. You want to enhance and elevate what it is that you do. This is Tyra Banks, with and without makeup. But we all know that when our hair is done, when we have a little bit of makeup, if we're really wearing our favorite color, we feel enhanced, we feel elevated. It's still us. But when we put that color on, like yellow, anything bright is like my thing. Like, you can't tell me. Anything bright is like really how I show up. And I'm still me. I'm still Quinn. However, I am enhancing and elevating who I am to be attractive to customers and clients. So you want to apply this same methodology to your business. Don't be out here showing up, just naked out here with your not putting any type of intentionality into the language and how you are promoting your product or service, right? You said that is not the same person. It really is, right? But you see how much better things look when it's elevated and enhanced, right? You want to keep that in mind. So I want to give you another example. And if you have questions, please understand that I'm about to get to you in just a second. This was Margarita before working with me. She says, I help clients. We know how I feel about help, discount dialect, gain clarity and confidence to take control of their financial lives. After working with me, Margarita now says, women who find personal finances overwhelming and investing intimidating partner plan and protect their money so they make rational decisions that increase their revenue. Do you see the difference between her elevator pitch and her verbal business card? And this is how I want you to think about when people ask you what it is that you do. So if you want to have conversations that lead to cash, it really is about showing your business some love, making sure that you're using luxury language. You understand what you offer. You know without a shadow of a doubt how to verbalize your value. And more importantly, you are intentional about enhancing and elevating what it is that you do by choosing wealthy words and not weak words when it comes to your message marketing. Okay. So Iman says, Tyra is a master business person. Her show is in the forerunner to all that talent, but show competition. Smart excuse. No, I got you. You were okay. All right. I am glad that you were still with me and you were so right. So let's recap. Show your business some love. I said it before. I'm going to say it again. You want to make sure that if you want to have conversations that lead to cash, that you want to use luxury language. You want to know what you offer. You want to be able to verbalize your value, and you want to be able to enhance and elevate what it is that you do. So with that being said, I also want to make sure that we drop that link one more time in the chat box. So some of you are like, oh my gosh, I'm a victim. I am definitely using discount dialect. I want to use more luxury language. That is the first step to creating a brand new verbal business card, right? So you want to be able to do that. So drop that link in the box. If you want to download my luxury language list, you can do that complimentary, not free, because free is a discount dialect word. And what we do is not for free. All right. So here's what you need to understand. If you are not giving your client an eargasm, you are leaving money on the table. Now, if you have not learned anything about me, is I am a lover of language. Matter of fact, I want to leave a legacy with my language. I make up my own words quick, fast, and in a hurry. So what is exactly an eargasm, Darnice? I'm so excited that you asked, right? So an eargasm is a vocal reaction to what it is that you just told somebody that you do. So when people say, Quinn, what do you do? And I say, I teach entrepreneurs how to turn conversations into cash by leveraging luxury language and not discount dialect so they can attract people to their business, their book, or their brand. People be like, oh, yes, girl, tell me more. All of those answers are what I call eargasms. And if people are like, oh, okay, that's nice, you're leaving money on the table. You want to make sure that you are giving people eargasms every time you talk about your product, your service, your coaching program, or your course, because that's a great indication that you're having a conversation that could lead to cash. So here's what I want to do. I want to go ahead and stop sharing my screen. I want to bring Jamie back up on. I want to hear any of your aha moments, as well as if you have any questions for me. I want to take those right now. Like, did I say something that really got your wheels turning? Do you have a question for me? Or you're like, I don't know, Quinn, when you talk about luxury language, you just snatched my whole edges. Like, I want to know all of that. So you can type that in the box, or Jamie, I'll let you kind of navigate that conversation. But we got 10 minutes and I would love to support you.
All right. Well, number one, girl, I've been to help. And if I think about it, if you ask me right now, what is my purpose in the world? I'm the help still. I need to download that list. I'll definitely be doing that. And then I also feel a little naked. I feel a little naked too. But you know what? It's all right. It's nothing wrong with it. I'm here for it. I was here for this conversation. My notes are galore. My pen was right here. Is everybody out there ready to show their business some love? Because I know I am. And I know I love what I do. I love my purpose. And I got to get rid of that word help.
And affordable and free. I mean, just get the list. I go in.
I can't wait. I know as soon as I get out of this, I'll be having Keisha drop me the link personally, because I need her to just send it directly to me. But so I know we have some folks in the chat box over here. Let's see what's going on here. There was someone that asked, could FB get the link? I do see it there. Please let us know if you're still not seeing it. And good to see you, family. Kaleem Rashid, I know that your business and things that you have going on could use the love today.
Sabrina says she got her edges snatched. I need to really love on my business.
I tell you, I am the help was very loud. Yes, with Toto. So Teresa wants to know, how can she meet with you? How can folks get your assistance, not your help?
So, Teresa, I'm so glad that you asked. I actually have a really good problem. I'm to capacity with clients right now. Like, I can't even take any. I know, right? Doesn't that sound crazy? So right now, I am not working with people because I am to capacity. But if you get that list, as soon as my schedule opens up a little bit, then I will let you know about when I'll be taking on some more clients. And like I said, it's still crazy to say that, but I serve and support people to my greatest capacity, not from empty and fumes. So right now, I'm a little full with clients. However, if you get that luxury language list, you'll get on my list, and I'll let you know when kind of things open back up. Because sometimes I offer it right away. All right, let's do your verbal business card, but I'm a little at capacity right now. People got me busy over here.
That's a beautiful thing. I'm like over capacity, full capacity. That sounds like a beautiful problem to have.
Mm-hmm.
So Iman says, your concepts and approaches apply to how we present ourselves in the world every day, not only in business, and appreciates this very much. And thanks, Juneteenth.
Yes.
I agree. It is definitely an awesome problem to have. So, folks, you heard, get on the list, subscribe. So that way, so just my question would be, because I did hear you mention someone in the chat that was part of your mastermind group. Did I hear you say? How often do you run that program?
So it's a program that I'm actually in. So it's 4 of us. We've been meeting for like, it's so funny. I don't have my own mastermind, although I probably could definitely create one, but I'm a part of it with 3 other people, and we get together every other week and just talk about business, speaking. They hold me accountable. They get me to level up, and I do the same for them. So it's a group of individuals who were just committed to not just success, but stratospheric success. Because most of us kind of settle for like this basic, but I'm with this group and they hold me accountable to really reaching like the highest level of my voice and how I can serve.
Got you. Understood. So one of my many gifts is kind of like seeing things that people could be creating for the world. And I have it that that's a beautiful way for you to expand how many clients you can actually take on without emptying of yourself.
Mhm.
Having a mastermind group doing what you do with your one-on-ones. Is that how you work right now with your
So
one-on-one?
no. So when I do my verbal business cards, they're actually in what I call tribes of 5 or less. So what I do is when it opens back up, people will actually get some modules from me. They're really, really short, like less than 10 minutes a piece. So it's about 40 minutes of prep work. And then you, as well as a few other people, I'll walk you through. So you actually do some of the massaging of your own elevator pitch. But when you leave after this session, you will actually have your verbal business card. And then I also give you a verbal business card leverage list. I teach you now how to use the verbal business card. So there's a whole program around that, but it's not one-on-one. I had to cut off one-on-ones probably like 3 years ago. I just didn't have it anymore. So I do my coaching and my development in tribes of 5. So normally there'll be no more than 5 people, but it usually ranges about 3 or 4. And that way it's communal, it's tribal, and we can also bounce off of each other. So I'm creating the luxury language. I'm making sure that we have the results in there. I'm doing all of that.
Beautiful. And Athenia asks, do you mind sharing the name of your mastermind program, the one that you're in now?
It is not something that is formal. It is something that we actually, as speakers and MCs, kind of got together. Like, this is what we need for accountability. So we're not under anyone. It's something that we kind of just created within ourselves. And then each time we meet, one person will take the lead and kind of walk us through what the conversation goes. Like, we have to give our numbers. How much money have we made so far? What strategies are we using? And then they'll call us out. You know what I mean? Like, oh, okay, I want to make X money. Like, nah, Quinn, you playing it safe. I'm gonna need you to add 50,000 to that, or I'm gonna need you to do X, Y, and Z. Or you said that you were gonna make your phone calls to meet with people, and you ain't make no phone calls. What you doing? Like, so it's that. So, and that's the beauty of it. We're not under anyone. We kind of created it, and it's so funny because every time I talk about it, like, you taking anybody else, but it's been the 4 of us literally for like the last 2.5, 3 years.
Got you. Understood. Well, I definitely love the idea of that model and just taking a page of that out of that book. So Kaleem said, needs more of this information. This has been very transformational. Yes, family, every Thursday, we have a lot of different things that we conversate about, all much like Quinn mentioned, to grow and expand the community, to pour into the community, to give back to the community. So, Quinn, I'm turning the table back to you for a moment. Let's let you wrap it up with love.
Okay, so here's what I'll say, right? And I always think about this. I want to give you a quick example to drive all of this home, right? So if you've ever went to the grocery store and you went down the cereal aisle, I'm positive that you've probably seen a box of Honey Nut Cheerios, right? Now, many of you are thinking, okay, this honey box of Cheerio cost me $3.99. However, if you look further down in that same cereal aisle, you'll also see a box of what I call Honey Nut O's. Now, at the end of the day, these are similar in the fact that they're both cereal. However, this box of Honey Nut O's cost me $1.99, almost a $2 difference between the other box. What makes this different, right? How they are describing and promoting it. And the reason why I bring this up is many of you who are watching this Lunch and Learn right now can charge premium pricing for what it is that you do. You literally have it. But the reason why you're not getting that premium client is because you're probably using discount dialect and words to describe what you do. So instead of getting premium pricing that you need to change up the words that you use and use luxury language to get that premium. But instead, many of us are using discount dialect. So we're promoting and marketing our business at a discount at the great value brand. Now, there is a customer and client for all of this, but many of us don't want to be here. We're frustrated. We know that we have a product that is similar, but it's not the same. I guarantee that if you think about how you are marketing and promoting what it is that you do, and you are committed to using luxury language, you can get premium pricing instead of pennies when promoting your product or service. So if you want to learn how you can have conversations that lead to cash, it's all about showing your business some love. And where do you start? Making sure that you're intentional about using luxury language and not discount dialect.
Ashe, Ashe, Ashe. Thank you so much, Quinn. This conversation has been so fruitful today. Just before you do depart, I do want to just show you the love that's going on in this chat box over there.
Sure.
Risa wants you to come back. Lisa says you were amazing. And now we might be updating the name of the show to Juneteenth Mindset Makeover Thursdays.
Wow, look at that. I think this, I'm not playing. We're going to use this right away.
I'm like, let me get this tongue started to get ready for that switch up. I'm with it. I am game. Teresa loves the comparison. Great observation. To the cereal boxes. Kaleem says, great example. Iman says, your mastermind program will lead you to cash, Miss Conyers. So yeah, you have a bunch of people here waiting for that and waiting for the updates. And we look forward to seeing you again, and you're welcome back anytime.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, folks. I hope you guys enjoyed that conversation as much as I did. Next week on our Juneteenth Mindset Makeover Thursdays, we will be joined by Ashley M. Austin Hill. She'll be talking about how to navigate working with people that have differing backgrounds, learning abilities, and capabilities. This workshop discovers how to position yourself as a small business, whether service or product based. Thank you, guys. Looking forward to seeing you again next week. Greetings. Good afternoon, Juneteenth family. Welcome to another weekly Lunch and Learn.
In terms of business, if you have a dream, go for it. Pursue it. Work hard at it, because with anything that you want to do, it's going to come hard work. You know, if you don't put the hard work, if you don't put the time into it, it's not going to flourish the way you want to.
Maybe advice for anybody who's looking to start a business, like, just do it. Start off small and then kind of expand. I know sometimes it can be overwhelming, but like once you're in it, you're like, oh my gosh, why didn't I do this long time ago?
Love you. Tell yourself, I love me too. I love you, Amina. Love you.
When you open your heart and your mind, you're opening up to your blessing.
Yeah.